how we made people feel, what we gave, the impact we made, and what we left undone. Now, hopefully, I'll have some garden projects that I'll get done. People won't remember me, my family won't remember me for that. And there's one question that we should have some sort of confidence in answering, and that's, what did you do with what you were given? What did you do with what you were given? Your job, your resource, your family, everything that you have, what did you do with it? And that's the heart of the parable of the talents. It's not about the boss and the servant. It's about God who entrusts his people with something valuable. And he invites us to do something with it. Because everything that you have is not meant to be buried. You can't just sit on it. It's supposed to be used. It's supposed to be shared to make an impact. And in this story, there's 3 servants, and 2 servants multiplied what they've been given. Like, that's excellent returns. 100%. Like, where did they invest that thing? 100% came back with those, and 1 buried it. There's the same opportunity, but different outcomes. See, God didn't praise, or the master didn't praise one out of the one that did 5 versus the one that did 2, because they multiplied it. Both of them did a good job. It didn't matter how much they were given. It's the fact that they were able to multiply this thing. They didn't sit on it, they multiplied it. And they were faithful. They didn't waste it. They didn't hoard it. They stewarded it wisely, diligently, and faithfully. And for us to be faithful with what God has given us, we need to be able to use all those things. You know, sometimes we go like, hey, thank God that you've given me another breath. Thank you for my health. So now, okay, what do you do with that? What are you doing with that health? What are you doing with that breath? What are you doing with it? It's about impact. It's not about being careful. It's about being faithful. And the main point in here is that you have to be a good steward. You have to apply wisdom, and you will come out with impact. You are all meant to have impact. Not an innocent bystander and watch people go ahead and fight for the kingdom of God. For all of us to have an impact. You know, back in the day, Charles and I were young. Back in the day, yes, we were young, and we didn't have much, because we started off in life, and we were both working minimum wage jobs. I was working at a factory, at a computer factory when they were manufacturing here in Australia. I was working at Acer Computers. A laptop factory, and my job there was to unpack boxes all day. Just take out from the box like a computer case to put on the conveyor belt. And you couldn't press, you just had to feed the conveyor belt. It's just very, very easy, like brutal job, brutal job. So you just take it out, put it there. You can't work too fast, because if you work too fast, you run out of things to do, and then you get to do something else. So you gotta be just fast enough to feed this conveyor belt. Not much. And then Charis was working at Glory Jeans. Yes, Glory Jeans, when Glory Jeans was at its peak, you know. And then eventually, we were engaged, and we wanted to save up for our wedding, because we didn't want to, start our marriage with debt. So we'll pay everything in cash. So we're saving every dollar mattered, because it's not much. It's coming from, it's minimum wage jobs, part-time. It's not that much. But during that period of time, we also were serving at the church, different churches. I was serving at the youth, and I was helping with the youth with the pickup and the drop-off, paying for petrol, buying kids food when they didn't have any money, which was literally always. And And these people, these kids, they were kids, came with just problems, no resource. That's all they brought, just problems, anxieties and all that kind of thing. That's all they brought. And so all the resource had to come from myself and the other youth leaders. And somehow, even though the numbers didn't make sense, God always made a way. There were moments where I could swear that I was only filling my car petrol like one full gas. That's it. Because I didn't have enough money to do multiple. And it just stretched. It felt like God was the one pushing, the car forward. Because it just never ran out of petrol, just enough for the weekend. We were doing all sorts of things. We were putting kids in the boot, and we were putting kids on the floor of the car because we had to put musical instruments so that we could only do one trip. There was only 2 cars during that season in youth ministry, and so you had to fit all of it in 2 cars because no one wanted to do 2 trips. But throughout all that time, Charis and I made a decision that out of conviction and not circumstance, that no matter how tight it got, we would be faithful with what we had. So when we were dating, we tithed, we gave, and we served. When we got married, we tithed, we gave, and we served. When we had 1 kid, we tithed, we gave, and we served. We had 3 kids, we did the same thing. Because it's a conviction thing. It's not a resource problem. When we started, it was 1 talent, 2 talents, 3 talents, 5 talents. It's not a resource problem. It's a conviction. And because our obedience was never about how much we had, but it's in who we trusted. We just trust that if we follow God and we do these things, hey, He'll take care of us. And we weren't careless, we weren't lavish, we weren't doing stupid things with our money. We were diligent, we were wise, we did the right thing. We could have been wiser, but we were still wise in what we knew to do. And there were plenty of times where we could have used the money somewhere else. We could have upgraded a thing, we could have saved a little bit more, we could have made life easier, but we just chose to give sacrificially. And it wasn't convenient because it cost us a lot. When you have little, it just costs a lot, But every time we gave, we were reminded that God, we cannot outgive God. The kingdom of God will move forward with or without you. I think, don't pride yourself too much on your resources. It's going to move with or without you. But the good thing here is God's inviting you to be part of what is something that is eternal. A kingdom that lasts forever. Not kingdoms that we build on earth that moth destroy. And over that years, that kind of faithfulness has created impact. We've seen lives change. We've helped people. We've opened doors. And God could only orchestrate these things. And not because we had abundance, but because we had conviction. That's it. We didn't know what the money would do, but we put it there and it did something. And it helped people. And it came back multiplied. Not that we were expecting a multiplication. We were just saying, hey God, it's better there than over here. So I'll give it to you. And to the one that is faithful with little, more will be entrusted. And it's not a brag that we have more. It's a testimony that we were faithful with little, and God was faithful to entrust us with more. You can't go, God, trust me with more, before you even do something with the little. Because you don't know what to do with the more. You have no idea what to do with it if you don't know what to do with the little. And in the story, there's only 3 characters. 2 did good things, 1 did a bad thing. There was no a middle thing. There was no person that, hey, they tried but failed, but good job for trying. No points for trying. You have to produce results. And the third servant had good intentions. He didn't want to waste the talent. He didn't want to invest in something he didn't know, so he's like, okay, I won't waste it. He didn't steal it. He returned all of it. He didn't lose it. He just protected it. And the thing with good intentions is that it doesn't create impact. The intention is like a step. That's the first step of the whole thing. There's so many other things you do after to create the impact. And you can have the best heart in the world, but until it's in motion, it's still buried. It's like, I really want to bless that person. But we don't do anything. It's still buried. Nothing is happening. And faithfulness isn't just feeling it, it's doing something with it. Yesterday, my favorite child, Kenzie, gave me a gift. She gave me a gift that she's been working on for 2 days. For 2 days. She's been doing an arts and crafts, like created a box. You know, we have like a paper cutter. She used the paper cutter. She just used a bunch of things and she packed it into this little thing. She was watching YouTube clips to create different things. She searched what arts and crafts to give to my father or something like that. And she created like a ribbon and a bow and she gave it. And it took her 2 days. She's been working on it. I didn't pay attention to it because it's just, you know, every afternoon after school she would be doing something. I go, what are you doing? She goes, oh, I'm just making something. Okay, good on you, you know. So just don't put your fingers on the paper cutter, and then I just left it there. And when she gave it to me, the impact of it was huge. It was like, I can't believe you did this. I can't believe that you spent all of your afternoons for the last 2 days to create this in the evenings. And it's such a great example of someone that has nothing. She has nothing. But what she had was access to YouTube. We have paper at home. We have this. And she created something. And her intention was to bless me. And she put the effort and she blessed me. Like, no money, nothing. That's all she had, time. And she was able to do something about it. And some people are waiting for the right time, for the right resource, for the right moment. But the impact never comes from waiting. It just comes from doing it. You know, sometimes there's times where we don't know what to say to people, what's the right thing to say for someone going through the thing that they're going through. And so we wait and we wait and we wait and the moment passes. Because you didn't know the right thing. Just say something. Just be there. Just send the encouragement. Just say the thank you. Just say the sorry. Just start the process. Because you can wait and wait and wait and just let it pass by and you miss the opportunity to bless and multiply what was already in your hand. So the question is, what about you? What do you have buried right now? What has God put in your hands and you say, not yet. I'll put it in the soil and I'll wait. A gift you haven't developed, a dream you keep saying, someday. It's going to be December soon. Like, you know, I'm still trying to lose weight from last January. And I'm about to hit January again. That's like, you know, every year 2 kilos. You're like, come on. Like, it's almost finished the year. Like, the resolution you were thinking about, hey, you're going to have to hit a reset on this thing. You have to hit a reset, which Katie mentioned to us the other day. I'm going to have to just give up on this resolution. The resolution was to eat spicy beans, like this year. And she's like, it's November. I don't think I'm going to eat a spicy bean. She's giving up on it. I don't want to do it. We're almost finished. A relationship you stopped investing in, a generosity you've delayed because it's not the right time. It's not the right amount. It's not enough. The tragedy of the story is that not that someone tried and failed, is that someone never even tried. Just didn't do anything. It's interesting that he goes, hey, I know you, Master, you're lazy. It's weird because the two other people didn't have that view of the Master. Only one. Thinking, why didn't they have a different point of view? Because these two think, hey, I got something, I'm going to do something with it. And the other one was just way too scared. Here convinces us that playing it safe is wise. That if we don't do something, then it's wise. That if we don't do something, then it's wise. But really, it bears the impact that we could have. It's not something big, it's just doing something. You could have the one talent, you could have half a talent. But if you do something, you do more with it than someone that bears it. The first two servants didn't wait for perfect conditions. They didn't ask for another sign. They went at once and put what they had to work. That's faithfulness. Not waiting, not wishing, working with what you have. So the challenge is serve where you are. We're going to mention volunteering and serving every week for the rest of our lives here. So you might as well serve. We have so many opportunities coming up in Christmas. We have so many opportunities that you can do here to serve. You don't have to be on stage. You can just serve. You know, we're always threatening with the speech. You don't have to do the speech. It's a threat. We're not actually going to get you to do a speech. Mentor someone younger. Like that's something you can do. Sow into someone's dream. If you feel like, I have no dreams left, there are people around you that would love support for their dreams. Sow into someone. Encourage that person. Start the project. Build the thing God's been storing into your heart. Faithfulness isn't glamorous, but it always creates impact. See, you can't get to the well done, good and faithful servant until you start with being good and faithful. Can't get that pat on the back. You've got to do something with it. And so you might have doubts in yourself and thinking, but what do I have to give Ken? I am just me. What do I have to give? I'm not like Paulo, boisterous, proud, no shame. I'm not like this guy. And I don't want to be like this guy. I'm not like Paula, I'm not like John, I'm not like Laura, I'm not like, what do I have to give? And everyone has something to give. It just looks different in each season. It just looks different, but it's something. If you're older, you have time, you have wisdom, and you have the resources. See, this is surprising when I first heard this, because I thought the most impactful and effective years in someone's life was around the 20s. Because I thought, hey, if you're 20, you got you buzz it, you got ideas, hey, get in there. Right? I thought that was the most effective. But the most effective decades in people's lives is 50, 60, and 70. I found that so surprising. And why is that? Because when you get to those years, it's like when clarity and experience align. You know exactly what to do. You know what the things that don't work. You know what's really important and what's not so important. You know the thing that someone is really, scared about. It's like, don't worry about it. 2 weeks from now, that's not even a thing. You have that kind of possible impact that you can lead people through. Don't bury the wisdom. Invest it in others. Don't bury it. You are wise. You are very wise. And you have time and you have the resource. If you're middle-aged, you have the influence and responsibility. You're shaping families, young families. You can do a lot of things. You're building teams, communities, steward it, grow it, help the next generation, be the leaders for the next generation that's following, thinking, be a good steward of that. And if you're young, you might not have any resource, but what you got is energy, creativity, and time. That's what you have. What you lack in resource, you make up for energy. I've been playing in a competition over at Richmond, and I'm versing like young kids, and the contrast is unbelievable. Like, you know, in my mind, I'm fast, but when I verse an 18-year-old, I am nowhere near, like, not even close. And now I get why older people, when we were young people playing the titos in basketball, now I know why the titos used to like hit you with the elbow, try to trip you. I'm doing exactly the same thing to these 18-year-olds. Like, if you pass me, I will hit you, because there's no way I'm going to catch this person. I'm trying to grab their neck. Like, I get it. That's what the people. That's what you have. The young, that's what you have. The energy, the potential, the resilience to keep bouncing and bouncing and bouncing. You can make horrible mistakes and still recover. You've got the time. You have the energy. And no matter the season, you have the opportunity to put your talents to work and make an impact. See, this is what I really want to see. We're in a new season of our church. Okay? But can you imagine if in this church the older were investing their wisdom, the middle-aged were leading with integrity and generosity, and the young were serving with energy and passion? Like, this wouldn't just be a gathering, it would be a movement. This would be a force to be reckoned with. Because you can imagine how much the church is able to accomplish, even though maybe 20% are the only ones doing the work. Imagine if 50% were doing the work. Imagine if everyone was doing the work. The church starts to advance. We're not just gathering, we're advancing, we're pushing. And people will know us not for what we have, but for how much we gave, for the impact that we made. And that's the kind of church that heaven celebrates. That's the church that you can be really proud of. That's like, hey, we're changing lives, we're being partners with God, and people are being transformed, are being saved. Families are being restored. Like, that's the exciting part. And we all get a pat on the back saying, well done, good and faithful servant. That's the goal. Nothing buried, nothing